The more you explain yourself, the less powerful you appear. Think about that. Not because explaining is wrong, but because of why you explain. You explain your decisions. You explain your boundaries. You explain your silence. You explain why you didn't answer. You explain why you need space. You explain why you chose differently. Not because you owe the world a detailed report of your inner life, but because somewhere, quietly, beneath the surface, you were afraid of being misunderstood, afraid of being judged, afraid of being seen as wrong, afraid of losing approval. So you add more words, more clarification, more justification, hoping that if you explain enough, they will accept you. But Stoicism teaches a brutal truth. People who respect you don't need explanations, and people who don't respect you won't accept them. No matter how perfect your words are, no matter how logical your reasons are, no matter how carefully you present them. Because explanation does not create respect, certainty does. Over-explaining looks like communication, but often it is not communication. It is negotiation. Not negotiation of facts, but negotiation of your right to exist as you are. You explain because you want approval. You explain because you want understanding. You explain because you want acceptance. So when you make a decision, you don't just state it, you defend it, you justify it, you soften it, you decorate it with reasons that make it more acceptable to others. Instead of saying, "I can't come," you say, "I can't come because I've been really tired, and I had a long day, and I haven't been sleeping well, and I just need to recharge. I hope you understand." Instead of saying, "I'm not comfortable with that," you say, "I'm not comfortable with that, but maybe later, or maybe I'm overthinking, or maybe it's just me." Instead of saying, "No," you say, "No, sorry, I wish I could, it's complicated." Each extra word weakens the boundary. Each extra justification invites negotiation. Each extra explanation signals uncertainty, and uncertainty invites pressure. Because every unnecessary explanation sends a silent message. I need your validation to feel secure in my decision. Even if you don't realize it, even if you don't intend it. And people feel this, not consciously, but instinctively. They sense when your decision is firm, and they sense when it is fragile. Fragile decisions invite resistance. Firm decisions invite respect. From a Stoic perspective, this is not humility. It is dependence. Dependence on external approval to stabilize internal certainty. And that dependence creates vulnerability. Because your peace becomes negotiable, your clarity becomes negotiable, your identity becomes negotiable. You begin to shape yourself around reactions. You begin to edit yourself to avoid discomfort. You begin to explain yourself into exhaustion. Why do humans do this? Because the brain fears rejection more than it fears exhaustion. For most of human history, rejection meant isolation. Isolation meant vulnerability. Vulnerability meant danger. So your nervous system still treats social disapproval like a threat. When someone questions you, when someone challenges you, when someone looks disappointed, your brain reacts. Not with calm neutrality, but with urgency. Fix it, clarify, repair their perception. You explain not to inform them, but to protect yourself from rejection, even when no real danger exists. There is another illusion. You believe explanation creates control. You believe, if I explain clearly enough, they will understand. If they understand, they will accept. If they accept, there will be peace. But understanding is not under your control. Their interpretation belongs to them, not to you. You can offer truth, but you cannot force acceptance. You can offer clarity, but you cannot control perception. You can offer honesty, but you cannot guarantee agreement. Epictetus taught this clearly. Some things are within your control, some things are not. Your decision is within your control. Their opinion is not. Your action is within your control. Their reaction is not. Over-explaining is an attempt to control what cannot be controlled. It is an attempt to reach inside another person's mind and rearrange their thoughts. This is impossible and exhausting. The deeper reason people over-explain is internal uncertainty. When you fully trust your decision, you do not feel the urge to defend it excessively. You state it calmly, simply, clearly. But when you doubt yourself, you seek external reinforcement. You seek agreement. You seek reassurance. Explanation becomes self-soothing, not communication. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." He did not say convince others. He did not say explain endlessly. He said embody it. Because actions eliminate debate. Consistency eliminates doubt. Presence eliminates argument. Imagine a mountain. It does not explain its existence. It does not justify its shape. It does not apologize for its height. It stands, and its presence is enough. Stoics understood this. They did not try to control perception through explanation. They controlled character through action. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." Because explanation invites argument, embodiment creates certainty. When you explain excessively, you invite people to challenge your reasoning, to dissect your logic, to negotiate your boundaries. But when you state calmly and stand firmly, there is nothing to negotiate. Seneca understood that respect is built through consistency, not persuasion. You do not convince people through emotional pleading. You convince them through stability, through predictability, through alignment between words and actions. When your decisions are consistent, people stop questioning them, not because they fully agree, but because they recognize your certainty. Over-explaining weakens your authority, not because explanation itself is weak, but because unnecessary explanation signals insecurity. Authority is quiet. Authority is simple. Authority does not beg for agreement. Authority does not chase validation. Authority stands. There is a moment when someone questions you, and you feel the urge to explain. Your chest tightens. Your mind starts assembling arguments. Your mouth prepares defenses. Pause there. Ask yourself one question. Am I explaining to inform, or am I explaining to seek permission? If you are informing, clarity is enough. If you are seeking permission, no explanation will ever be enough. Because people who respect you do not require you to prove your right to exist. They do not require detailed justification for every boundary. They do not require emotional essays for simple decisions. And people who do require that are not seeking understanding, they are seeking control.
Stoics understood something most people never realize. Not everyone needs access to your inner reasoning. Not everyone deserves access to your inner reasoning. Your mind is not public property. Your decisions are not public debates. Your boundaries are not democratic processes. You do not need universal understanding. You do not need universal approval. You do not need universal agreement.
You need alignment with reason, alignment with truth, alignment with your character. When your decision aligns with reason and virtue, explanation becomes optional, not mandatory. You can explain briefly, clearly, without emotional pleading, without over-justifying, without shrinking yourself. Silence is often stronger than explanation, because silence signals certainty, silence signals peace, silence signals independence. This does not mean becoming cold. This does not mean becoming arrogant. This means becoming grounded. Imagine two people saying the same sentence. The first says, "I'm sorry, I just can't. I wish I could explain more. I hope you understand." The second says, "I can't." Same decision, different energy, different authority, different self-respect. The Stoic path is not about becoming unkind. It is about becoming unshakable, not rigid, not defensive, just clear. Clear in your values, clear in your boundaries, clear in your identity. Because true authority does not argue for its existence. It exists. It does not rush to justify itself. It does not chase acceptance. It does not beg to be understood. It stands quietly, firmly, calmly. Explain less. Stand firm more. No over-justifying, no emotional pleading, no seeking permission to exist. Because the moment you stop over-explaining, something changes inside you. You feel lighter, stronger, clearer. You stop negotiating with your own mind. You stop abandoning yourself for approval. You stop shrinking to fit expectations. And people notice, not because you said more, but because you said less. Not because you argued harder, but because you stood calmer. Stoics understood this deeply. Your life is your explanation. Your character is your argument. Your consistency is your proof. You do not need to convince everyone. You only need to remain aligned with yourself. And when you do, you stop explaining your existence and start living it without apology.